All right, welcome back to the Williams, ELLEBY HOWARD EASTER YouTube channel. I'm Joel, this is Chase, and it is the holiday season, and today we want to talk about when someone is hurt by Christmas lights, who's responsible and who has to pay. One thing that I never really thought I'd do a video on until ChatGPT told us we should do a video on this. I'm like, okay, well, what happens if somebody's hurt by Christmas lights? So why don't you get us started, Chase?
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is don't have Christmas lights.
That's terrible advice.
Right, it's easy.
Scrooge over here.
Easy. No, this is kind of a fun topic. There's so many different nuances when it comes to any sort of trip and fall, slip and fall case. This is Georgia specific, so we'll just talk kind of Georgia stuff. So generally speaking, the law you look to in Georgia is OCGA 51-3-1, which is the premises liability statute, which in a nutshell says all property owners have a duty to keep their premises safe. A lot of that has to depend on the status, meaning why the person is on your property. So I always think of something like Christmas lights, decorations, and everyone has Amazon and stuff being delivered to the house. Okay, well, what sort of duty do you owe to the Amazon driver about any potential hazards that you might have on your property, including Christmas lights? So the big thing that probably stands out to most people are extension cords, right? Everyone gets the kind of the green extension cords to kind of blend in and all that type of stuff. So what is the duty of the homeowner to try to keep the premises safe for those types of folks coming onto their property is really the question we look at. And then, of course, the circumstances surrounding whatever that incident may be, right? Whether it's a trip and fall, slip and fall, how that person, slipped and fell. I mean, we could come up with so many fun little different fact patterns and we can kind of analyze them. So I don't know, depends on how deep you want to get.
Well, I mean, we don't have to get too deep, but I was just thinking about the most common scenarios that somebody may run into. And that's a good example with a delivery driver coming to your house. Theoretically, the highest duty is owed to somebody who's coming to your home or your place of business to do business with you. So I think there's a good argument that could be made that a delivery driver is a business invitee, meaning that you have a duty to reasonably inspect your property to make sure there's no hazards that could hurt them. So with the extension cord example, or if you've got an extension cord that's frayed and it's raining and there might be electrical current going around, well, you have a duty to inspect to make sure that there's not something that's going to hurt somebody that comes to your home to do business. If it's a social guest, you're having a Christmas party and you invite people over, your duty's not quite as high to them, but it's still a good idea to, hey, if I'm inviting Chase's family over to my house for dinner, to just go out there, make sure everything's in good order, so when his kids are out running around the yard, they don't trip over something and get hurt, right? Because if you do just that minimum for a social guest, then you should be fine, even if somebody gets hurt and brings a lawsuit against you. Another scenario I was thinking about, I'm seeing a lot of these signs go up in Kennesaw and Ackworth where we're at, are we hang Christmas lights for you. Right? So what if a third-party company comes to your home and is hanging Christmas lights and they do it in a way that's negligent so that it presents some sort of a hazard to people that come onto your property?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fun little fact pattern, fun little scenario,
Law school question right there.
I know. Yeah, I mean, so you would just kind of look at that. I mean, I kind of equate that to, let's say you're at a Publix and you're by the cooler and you slip and fall. Well, 30 minutes before you slip and fell, Pepsi was doing a delivery and it was the Pepsi cart that, actually caused the hazard and things like that. So right in that scenario, if you're, say, Johnny Amazon's delivering a package and you had a third-party lighting company put, Santa and all of his reindeer and a sleigh on top of your roof and it comes unlatched and falls down and hits Johnny Amazon driver.
No, I just went way down the rabbit
listen,
hole.
If we're doing scenarios, I'm going to make it fun.
All right, let's do it.
That situation, right? So who's responsible? Well, the argument, of course, is going to be it's the lighting company. Yeah. So that's why when these companies come, even like plumbers, electricians, things like that, if they're coming work on your house, when they say licensed, insured, bonded, and things like that, you want to make sure they have insurance. Yeah. Because in that situation, you're definitely going to be looking at that third party who installed, who came to your house, said they were going to do a good job, said they're going to do it safely. You paid them money to do that. Wasn't done safely. They didn't do a good job. It fell and it injured someone. You don't want that happening.
Yeah. Another thing is fires, right? So let's say you get a real Christmas tree and you let it dry out. You forget to water it. All of a sudden, lights catch it on fire and your house burns down. Well, I'll tell you right now who's responsible for that. And that's you for not watering your tree. But what if your house catches on fire, you're out of town, and the flames spread and burn your neighbor's house down?
Yeah, what about it? You started the fire. That's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, of course, your insurance, I mean, if we're going to get way into the weeds, your insurance is hopefully going to cover it. Then your insurance is going to turn around and investigate how that happened.
Yep.
Right? Did the smoke alarms not go off? Was there a sprinkler? If it's a commercial building, the sprinkler system not go off? Can they point the finger at someone else who's going to contribute and help pay back for all that damage? To take it another step further, what if you have a fake Christmas tree and you plug it in and there's a malfunction with the product and it causes a fire? You know, you've got a products case there. You get folks out there that are going to investigate how that fire got started. Could be recalls involved. Yeah. It could be a whole slew of things. So
yeah, so a lot of these type things, it's a fun topic because of the time of year. Well, it's probably only fun for us because we're lawyers, but probably
it's fun in the sense as you can tell we can come up with all sorts of fact patterns that are just ridiculous.
Yeah, and the main point of this video is that there's a million different things that could possibly happen when it comes to Christmas decorations and lights and falls, slips, electrocutions, fires, all that kind of stuff. But as we move into the holiday season, the most important thing that you can do to protect yourself is go ahead and make sure that your homeowners or renters policy is like you paid the premiums, that your coverage is where you need it to be in case something does happen, and just make sure that's done. And then just, you know, do your best to look out for hazards in and around your home, especially when you know people are going to be coming to your home, to protect them, but also to protect yourself against liability.
Yeah. So I think just ask yourself, just think if you're putting out Christmas lights or decorations and you're nervous about where you're putting them or what the setup might be, the question you really need to ask yourself, is this reasonable? Is it reasonable for me to put these lights out here? And is it reasonable that if someone were to come on my property that they wouldn't get injured? As long as it's reasonable, it makes sense, and you're doing just, I don't want to say the bare minimum because you want to do more than the bare minimum, but you're going and checking to make sure that extension cord's not out in the way that someone's going to trip, or that the outlet's really plugged in because you're not going to start a fire and things like that. As long as it's reasonable, you're going to be fine. You're going to be protected.
Yep. So just make sure you've got your insurance paid and you act reasonably and pay attention to things. Next week, we'll talk about things to be aware of if you're going to be traveling during the holidays, especially when it comes to automobile insurance. If you're going to be driving, even to different states from where you live at, just some things you need to think about and be aware of to protect yourself and to protect yourself against the negligence of other people. But we appreciate you spending time with us today. If this video has been helpful, give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when you're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.